Teaching Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn in the 21st Century by Alan Gribben. As an English professor who has taught at universities in the West, South, and East, I have witnessed seismic changes over 40 years in our culture and in teaching Mark Twain's novels, especially Huckleberry Finn. A change had to be made to keep Huckleberry Finn in the classroom because of one word, the hateful N-word.
$365 a year, but they're actually putting special attention on their statewide Big Read initiative. I like the sound of that. And here to tell us more about it, Rebecca.
It also has an introduction by Dr. Alan Gribben, who's a professor at Auburn University, Montgomery, and a Twain scholar.
Wow, are they available already? Can you go ahead and do that?
Because I wanted them to understand what it was like to be white in that period of history and what it was like to be black. And
Huckleberry Finn opens with the exact words, "You don't know about me without having read a book." Mr. Mark Twain ran.
Months after my travels, I remembered the sadness of teachers not being able to introduce Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn into the classroom because of the N-word. What if the N-word were removed and slave inserted instead? I took the idea to New South Books, a specialized press devoted to the people and issues in the South. The announcement of a forthcoming Huckleberry Finn without the N-word brought the attention of the world to New South Books in Montgomery, Alabama. Before the book was published, the number of interview requests from world media overwhelmed us. The intensity of the debate over the N-word drew the ire of those crying political correctness, censorship, and rewriting Twain. The frenzy to defend the N-word as necessary to teach Huckleberry Finn wound down after March 2011. On 60 Minutes, two African Americans in a public high school classroom coerced to read Huckleberry Finn with the N-word described their experiences.
Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is one of the greatest works in American literature, and it's always been one of the most controversial. Their feelings about it.
I feel like that word is in there for a reason. Twain put the word in there to get our attention, and every time we read it, it does exactly that. It gets our attention.
If you replace that with the word slave, of course people would be less bothered, but I think Twain wants people to be a little bit bothered.
Melvin, you smile.
I smile because I just kind of think that the constant use of the N-word in there, to me it feels unnecessary.
Why? What is it about? It's just a word, right? What is it about this word?
It reflects on African American history back then, and like I said, it's a history that nobody wants to relive.
Do you think the discomfort starts and stops with the N-word, or the discomfort extends to a conversation about race?
In this specific instance, it is the word itself that is the problem. People are not coming up and saying, well, we can't teach this book because it's got discussion about slavery. What they're saying is we can't teach the book because it's got all these repetitive instances of the offensive N-word in there, and therefore we're not going to use it.
17-year-old Jeremy Richardson is still trying to figure out how to react to the word, especially as the only black student in Nora Weiss's English class.
Having the teacher read it out loud to everyone, then everyone's looking at me like, oh, she just said that, what are you going to do about it? Like, I didn't really have a reaction. I basically ignored it.
You didn't have an external reaction?
Yeah.
Internally, though, what was going on?
Internally, I just thought about it like, this is wrong. Like, I don't think that she should be saying this out loud, or...
Well, why didn't you say something at that moment?
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't want everyone to see that I was having a problem with her reading the word. That may be it. But I definitely did have a problem with it.
New South Books printed 7,500 copies of its edited version of Huckleberry Finn, and say they've sold nearly all of them.
The only thing missing from their, reading of this will be the word itself. Have we taken every bit of the value of Twain out? Well, that's a preposterous argument. I can't even see that argument.
I suspect that not one of your critics has stood before an integrated classroom. I also doubt that they have seen the expressions of humiliating discomfort of students in a classroom where the novel is used as an excuse to repeat the N-word over and over. Thank you for your efforts to return the most important novel in the American literary canon to its rightful place in high school curriculums. A university professor removed the book from her basic American literature class because she didn't want to spend half of the time allotted to the book to be used to deal with arguments about the use of the N-word. I don't use the N-word in the classroom because you can't learn when you're being hurt. Let's face it, that word threatens to kill a classic.